Hello, welcome back to my channel, Main Vein. My name is Mimi. I'm a licensed cosmetologist in California. I specialize in lived-in blondes and hair extensions, all things color. I love color so much. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my journey to becoming a hairstylist, when I got started, what led me there, how I decided to become a hairstylist, and everything in between. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in hearing about, keep on watching. Let me start with a little bit of backstory. My story is kind of long, so let me start by saying that I got started in the hair industry later in life. I enrolled in beauty school when I was 30 years old. I'm currently 34. I graduated from beauty school and got my license when I was 31, and I worked as an assistant. Then I booth rented for about a year and a half, and this last February I opened my own salon suite inside Solo Salons. It's the best thing that it's the best thing ever. My clients love it. I love it. I love that one-on-one experience. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions because my story is kind of long. And so I asked you guys to ask me some questions to kind of help me organize my thoughts, which will help me kind of tell you this story and kind of give you like an idea of what my journey was like. I have a few questions here that I thought were really good that I really wanted to touch on. So I'm just gonna start reading them and then I'll answer them for you. So yeah, let's get started. Hardest thing for you and the easiest. That's kind of a vague question, but I think the hardest thing right now currently in my career is following through with boundaries and like knowing when to separate work from my personal life. I love my job. I love what I do, and something that I struggle with is turning work mode off. My brain's constantly in work mode. If you're an entrepreneur, you work for yourself, then you understand what that's like to just constantly be in work mode. Your work never stops. Whether you're working behind the chair or not, like you're always working, because I am my marketing department, my social media department. I'm my own bookkeeper. I do everything. When you're in a business, when you have your own business, you do everything. You wear all the hats, and it's a lot. So I feel like I have a hard time like shutting that off and just enjoying, my off time and, enjoying that time with my family, just taking it all in. And sometimes I know that like my job can seem more of like the top priority when it is a priority, but it shouldn't be the number one, if that makes sense. Like number one in my personal life, if that makes any sense. So that's probably the hardest. The easiest for me, I would say, is interacting with people and being like personable. I'm already like a pretty outgoing person, I feel. So, and I worked in retail, cosmetic retail for nearly 10 years. So I have a lot of experience working with the general public. And so I think that's really helped me with my customer service skills as a hairstylist, because, that is something that is, pretty big deal in our industry. You have to have good customer service skills. You have to be personable to be successful in the industry, and you have to be able to connect to people. So I feel like I connect pretty easily with most people. Obviously, I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. The people that are in my life, I feel like we connect, and I feel like I'm really good at building those relationships. So that's something that I feel like is the easiest for me so far. What did you do before hair? I worked in retail jobs. I worked in food. But I worked in cosmetic retail for about like 7 or 8 years before I was a hairstylist. And I worked at a grocery store for about 3 years doing my background is in like stock, like logistics and like marketing, like merchandising, not marketing, but merchandising. So that's what I did. What made you decide to become a stylist? So I knew at the age of 12 that I wanted to be a hairstylist, and I think, I don't know. I just always found the work like fascinating. I loved going to the salon and watching the stylists. I always thought hairstylists were so cool and they had like the best job, and I loved the way that like I felt leaving the salon, like I was always somebody who loved to change their hair, whether it was chopping it off or changing the color. I always just, it always was just so exhilarating to me. And so I always enjoyed that. And I don't know, I just really liked the salon like atmosphere and like the overall like culture of the work. So I've always just been drawn to it, and I always knew that I wanted to do it at a young age. What made me actually decide to pursue the career, there were a lot of things actually, but I was just fed up with working in retail. I was fed up working a corporate job, that like a dead-end job that wasn't going to get me anywhere. I was dissatisfied with my life, and I wanted to change. And I felt at that point, I felt like I had nothing to lose, so I went for it. I always liked performing arts. I was in choir, color guard, I did drama. So I always really liked performing arts, so I thought I was gonna be an actress one day. No. I did think at one point that I was gonna go into nursing and work in the medical field. No, not for me. Now I think that if I wasn't a hairstylist, I would do something in marketing. I find it really fascinating. Marketing is a huge part of the job of being a hairstylist. And so, you know, you have to market yourself and market your skill set in order to build your clientele. And so I feel like that's something that I thrive in. I really enjoy it. I love learning about it. I love creating marketing campaigns. So I feel like if I wasn't a hairstylist, I would pursue marketing, a career in marketing. I think it's just really fascinating. Did you ever have a time you felt like walking away during school? If so, why? Yes, actually. When I started beauty school, I was working for NYX Cosmetics. They opened a store here. And I helped to open it. I was the full-time stock manager. That's how I got hired as the full-time stock manager. And I really liked that job. That job was really fun. And I felt like, you know, I had been following NYX on Instagram for such a long time, and I used their cosmetics, and I really loved the company. And so I really thought like, if I worked really hard and worked my way up, that I could eventually like be traveling and like opening up stores and, or becoming some type of, you know, like higher level management within the company. And then 6 months into the store being opened, they got rid of my position throughout the entire company and laid me off. So I went from being a full-time employee to being a part-time employee. And I went from working full-time 40 hours a week to working 6 to 12 hours a week. And it's like, let's be real, like you can't make a living off of that. And I had children and a family, like, and I just couldn't. So because I lost that full-time position, it forced me and my husband to move in we lost our apartment because we could no longer afford rent there. And we had to move in with his mom. And we ended up living in a single bedroom we shared a bedroom with our son and our dog. And we lived there for 3 years. It was with a bunch of other people, and it was just not a great, it was really tough. It was really, really rough. It was rough on everyone's mental health, and it was just bad. And you know, I remember this one day I was watching my husband and my son put up the Halloween decorations, and I had to go work a 4-hour shift at NYX, and I was like, what's even the point? I'm missing out on this. I'm gonna miss out on decorating the house for Halloween with my son and my husband because I have to go work for 4 hours. Like 4 hours, that's like, what? That's not even worth it. Like, what? I'm gonna miss out on this? This is like, no. And I would like to go to a job that I was like no longer happy with, and I just felt so unfulfilled. So I quit right then and there. I quit. I called in and I said, I'm not coming in, I'm done, I'm goodbye. And I had already enrolled in beauty school at this time. I had probably been enrolled for maybe a month. No. 2 months. I had been in school 2 months at this time. And I was like, I'm gonna just dedicate my time to my time to school, and I don't want to miss out on these things. And that's another reason that you know, drove me to be and to work for myself, was that I wanted to be able to dictate my own life. And I was so tired of missing out on the important things. And so I wanted to be able to say, like, if I want to decorate my house for Halloween with my son, I can. I don't have to ask anyone's permission, and I shouldn't have to anyways. Nobody should. Like, I shouldn't have to miss out on that. And so that was another driver, you know, that but why did I want to quit? That's the whole question. So I'm going to school. I'm going full time. I'm going, you know, 3 days a week, 10-hour days. And in the middle of my education, my husband got a different job. We only had one car at that time, and he was working out of town, so he had to take the car. And at that time, I didn't really have reliable childcare, so I had to wait until my husband got home. So I was going in the evenings, which then made me like a part-time student. So I got behind in my hours, and I just felt like, and at that time, I just felt like everything that could go wrong while I was in school was going wrong. And it was really tough, and I just wanted to give up. But then I was like, no, like, you've come this far, you've already invested the money, you took out the loans, like, you're not giving up, this is your dream, like, are you kidding? And so I remember once I just sucked it up, and I started taking the bus, and I would lug my big old duffel bag, this big old huge duffel bag that had all of my equipment in there for school. I would walk 2 blocks with it to the bus stop, and then I would take 2 buses to get to school on time. It was a lot. It was just a lot. And then take the bus home with my duffel bag. And I did that every day. So because I wanted to get caught up on my hours, instead of going 3 days a week, I started going 6 days for 13 hours days. I was going the max amount of time I could go so I could get caught up, so I could graduate on time, because I just wanted to work, and I was just so ready to work and like get started in my career, and I just wanted to graduate, and I wanted to graduate on time. So in order for me to do that, I was taking 2 buses to get to class, going to school 6 days a week, 13-hour days. I did that for like 2 or 3 months or something like that, and I did it. I graduated on time. So how do you stay motivated? That's a good question, because in any other aspect of my life, I don't have a lot of motivation, like as far as like my fitness goes, like what fitness, my eating habits. When it comes to work, I don't know, like I said, I'm always on work mode. I'm always thinking about the next thing, and it just keeps me going. I don't know. I think like just the sheer like passion for it, like the love for it, I think is what keeps me going. Also, like when I like diving into this career and like seeing the things that are possible if you just work, if you set your goals, and then you create your plan to achieve that goal, and then you do it, and then you do the work, like seeing what has been possible for me and like what I've been able to do, like I just want to keep going, man. Like I know that there's more out there, and I just want to keep going. So for me, that's what keeps me motivated. Also, my son, I know that sounds like really, cheesy and whatever, but like my son keeps me motivated. Like, I want to just teach him, like, follow your dreams. Anything's possible that you work for, just, do what you gotta do. What is something you have achieved that you thought you wouldn't? I knew that I was gonna open my salon studio one day. However, I did not realize that I was going to be able to open it so soon into my career. So I've only been licensed so I've started my journey 4 years ago, and I've been licensed for almost 3 years. It hasn't even been a full 3 years yet. And so in December, it'll be 3 years that I've been licensed. And so I opened my salon studio within 2 years of getting my cosmetology license. I was thinking that it would take me 5 years, but it took me 2, which is incredible. I never thought that I would be able to do that so quickly, and that I would be doing it successfully. Like, it's a dream come true. It's amazing, and it's something that I manifested it, like, for sure. I remember in school, and you can ask her if she ever watches this, Carly. You can ask her. I would tell her in class, I'm gonna open a salon studio. I love these things. I love the concept. I want one. I'm gonna do it. I freaking did it. So I think opening my salon studio, I knew I was gonna do it. I knew I could do it, but I didn't know that I was gonna be able to do it in 2 years. With burnout. If I'm being honest, I don't deal with burnout well. I really don't. The way that I've started to deal with like trying to prevent burnout is by setting boundaries. I have business hours when that's certain times where I will answer, emails, DMs, text messages. If clients text me after my business hours or before my business hours, I will get back to them the next business day or within my business hours. That's something that's helped a lot. I'm no longer working super late into the night like I used to. Like, there were times where I used to work until like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Like, I'd start at 9 a.m. and I'd work all day into the night, and I wouldn't get off until 3 a.m. the next day. Like, that is insane. Like, that is so insane. Like, how stupid. Like, of course I was working and hustling, and I wanted to do the work, and I wanted to build my clientele, and I wanted to gain the skill, because in this industry you learn from doing, and of course I wanted to learn. But that was just insane, especially because I'm a mom and I have responsibilities at home, and so I can't be coming home at 3 a.m. and then getting up at 5 a.m. to take care of my home and get my child up. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not taking care of myself, then I can't take care of anybody at home. You know what I'm saying? So I've set boundaries, and I've started with my self-care. Self-care is something that, sorry, you can probably hear my son in the background. Self-care is something that I used to do, that I stopped doing when I moved in with my mother-in-law. Like I said, I got really depressed, and I just fell off of everything. I stopped doing my hair and my makeup and taking care of my body, and like I used to work out all the time, and I would take care of myself, and I stopped doing that. And that happens when your mental health is declining, like everything else declines. And so something that it's taken me this long to really kind of get back into it. And so I've decided that to help with burnout, to prevent that burnout, I'll set my boundaries, and I'll make time for myself and make time for my family, things that are important, because I can't be all work all the time. What held you back until now? What drove you? How did you figure it out? What held me back? Mindset, thinking that I couldn't do it at one time, that I wasn't capable, that I wasn't worthy, that I constantly had an excuse. I don't have the money right now. I don't have the time. And honestly, I think when I look back on it, I think I was just scared. I think I was just scared of taking that leap, because like, what if I fail? But I don't know. And then, I had my son, and I became a mom, and we were just living this, like, God, we were just so poor and struggling so bad. And then we ended up, like, one day I looked around at where we were living. Like, we were living in a single room, me, my husband, my kid, or our kid, my husband's son, my stepson, a single bedroom, a family of 4 in a single bedroom in this home that is not kid friendly. And I was just like, God, like, my kids deserve more than this. I deserve a better life. My husband deserves a better life, and I can do better than this. Like, this is not the life that I set out for. And I was just thinking, like, I want to give my son so much more than this. Like, this is not okay. And I think that's what really, that my son, like, wanting to give him a better life, wanting to give myself a better life, wanting to get out of this financial rut that I was in. Like, I just didn't want to live that way anymore. I wanted something more. And I knew that, and at that, I don't know what, I woke up, I guess, because I spent the majority of my 20s acting like an idiot, like just fucking off my whole life, pretty much. Like, I didn't care about anything. I cared about living in the moment, and I never thought about the future. And I don't know if losing my mother and my best friend when I was a kid, like, my mom passed away when I was 16. My best friend died 2 years later. They were my 2 biggest supporters. My mom encouraged me all the time to become a hairstylist, and my best friend and I were going to go to cosmetology school together, and then they both died. And so, I don't know, I guess I just lost all the hope, faith. I felt like I couldn't do it because they weren't there. And then my son came into my life, and everything just changed. And you hear people say that all the time about their kids. I'm sure it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like, my son, like, changed my life, and he really helped me see, like, there's just so much more to life. And I've learned like why thinking about the future is so important. And so now whenever I'm, planning things or coming up with, creating goals for my business or for myself, I'm thinking about the future. It's important. And so I think that's what drives me, my son, and the future, and my goals, and, those types of things. Figure it out. I think I kind of already touched on this a little bit. I figured it out. I was just fed up with my life. I was just fed up with my life. And I said, you know what? I'm sick of these corporate jobs. Like, I'm not getting anywhere. Like, I have no career. I don't have, what am I providing for my child? Like, what kind of life am I providing for myself? Like, this isn't okay. Like, I'm just done with this. I can't do this anymore. And I had like an epiphany one day, I guess. And I was like, just go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? Just go for it. Final question, part of your journey, best part, all of the full circle moments that I've had. You ever had an experience where like something just came full circle, or some type of event took place and you were like, wow, like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be? I've had so many of those moments since I became a hairstylist, like so many of those moments, and it just like reassures me, like, wow, like I was meant to do this. And I always knew that I would. It just took me a little while to get there. I hope that you found this interesting. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just want to close this off, end this video by saying, if there is something that you want to do in your life, just go for it. Because just go for it. You never know what you're capable of doing if you don't try. You have to try, and don't be afraid to fail, because honestly, you have to fail. You have to fail to succeed. You just do. Like your failures will teach you something, and then you can so that way when you go and try again, you can do it better. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is part of success. And if there's something out there that you want to do, just go for it. If you want to be a cosmetologist, just do it. If you want to start your own business, or you want to create an online boutique or whatever it may be, do it, because it's possible. It's possible to live the life that you want and to have the life that you want, and you're deserving. So no matter what your background is, no matter where you came from, like if there's something that you want to do it. You can do anything you put your mind to, and I know that for a fact. That sounds cliche, but it's so true. You can do anything that you put your mind to, honestly. So if you're something that you want to do, just go for it. And it's never too late. I started beauty school when I was 30 years old. I'm 34 now, and I've had really great success. And it's only the beginning, baby. I'm gonna keep going. There's so much more in store for me, and I'm always learning. And so I hope that this motivated you. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you learned something. Thank you for sticking around. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'm gonna try really hard to be more consistent with my upload schedule. It's just busy, man. Like I said, I'm trying to juggle things and find that balance, but I'm gonna try to be a lot better about this. If you want to see anything from me in particular, or there's anything you want to learn from me, just leave me a comment and let me know what that is, and I'll do my best to put that video up and get that created for you. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. I'd love to chat with you there. Please subscribe, like, and share this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.